You decide who will ask questions.
All right.
Today we have questions about loneliness. We won't discuss any other topics so it stays interesting for everyone.
Raise your hands if you have questions. I see everyone has already asked their questions. It would be preferable if the organizer wrote in the chat. Krasnoyarsk was first. Krasnoyarsk, let's try. Hello. I recently started listening to the lectures. I'm completely new. I have a question. I experience loneliness in my family. I've been living with my husband for 7 years, but I feel very lonely with him. I feel very lonely, as if I'm alone.
I understand your question. The answer is very simple. There are expectations from a close person. You want happiness from him. This always happens because this is how the human psyche works. Even a small child whines all the time when they want attention. That's why parents can't even rest. They are constantly tied to their children because they want happiness. This is a sign of weak intelligence. Similarly, adults also want happiness from each other. And the more they want happiness from each other, the more loneliness they feel, because the only way to have a relationship is to overcome yourself in this matter, to switch focus. We have 2 switches. One is wishing happiness, the other is life dedicated to caring for others, or asceticism practice. If you switch to caring despite all the resentments, why does not he want to take care of me? I should care for him. If you switch to caring, you won't feel lonely. Loneliness comes from the principle that he should take care of me first. When this principle ends and you simply take care of your loved one, gradually the heart melts and loneliness is destroyed. There's another aspect. Today I was praying together with an acquaintance, and this person noticed that their relationship with their loved one improved in their heart. There was emptiness, there was misunderstanding. We read prayers together. I tuned into his heart. He was also thinking about God. As a result, we noticed that the relationship got better. This system works. You need to pray. You need to know how to cleanse your heart through prayer and also set yourself up correctly, stepping over the abyss of expectations and demands. Force yourself to go into a decisive battle with your desire to enjoy life and enjoy attention. Force yourself to live differently, despite not believing that the person will respond.
What if a person wants to get divorced?
If they want to get divorced, it means they're already tired of the tension that reigns in the family. This desire to divorce doesn't mean anything by itself. It means that incorrect relationships have reached their limit. But if you behave correctly, he will want to divorce less, then even less, and then change his mind completely. It's all simple, it's mechanics. His desire to divorce doesn't mean something serious has happened to him. He's just tired. You can start caring for him and he will want to divorce less. Everything is in your hands.
I understand. I want to ask you a small, silly question. Simply put, by fate, I met a woman who is a clairvoyant. And she told me that this person is not meant for me. And this got stuck in my head. Her power to influence is so strong. I keep praying.
So you met a clairvoyant, right?
No, she's not a clairvoyant. She just somehow said it.
I could tell you what she is, but there are many people here. I'm embarrassed to say that word. I don't want to say it now, but this clairvoyant of yours simply destroys families. Why listen to such people? You need to overcome this feeling because you yourself want to feel this way. She's just playing along with you. You yourself want to think this way.
I believe this is my fate, and I must endure the difficulties and crisis.
Yes, of course, you should fight for your family until the end, and the Lord will be pleased. We should do what the Lord likes in our heart, or what conscience likes in our heart, not what some questionable clairvoyant likes or dislikes. We shouldn't pay attention to this, even if you believe this person. That was your mistake.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for getting a little off topic. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
The bad period in your relationship is ending. It lasted about 3 years, and in a couple of months, everything will be fine. The relationship will begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's continue.
How to correctly build relationships with equals. Is this related to the topic?
All right, let's talk about this.
Hello.
Hello? You have a nice smile. Well done. Sit closer, we can barely hear you.
I'm very good at relationships with younger and older people, but somehow I have problems with peers. I would really like to be friends with everyone.
Well, you already know you have problems with peers. I can tell you what the problems are. You have strong demands towards peers. You want ideal relationships to be understood, for everything to be just right. You know this flaw in yourself. Being demanding means egotism, desire to be served, desire for honors. You should overcome this desire through caring for others. That means fight with your internal problem. This is also a result of this loneliness, of course. When there are no relationships with peers, it's also loneliness, and the reason is incorrect thinking. We have some deep-rooted flaws. They form over years. When you were in charge and commanding others for a long time in the past, relationships with peers become atrophied. Generally, relationships with peers should be primary. There should be fewer relationships with younger ones and not so many relationships with older ones. There should be mainly relationships with peers because these relationships form the right ego. Neither humiliated nor proud, but calm. If you mainly communicate with younger people, you develop a demanding attitude towards people. And this demanding attitude destroys relationships with peers. You kind of become senior for everyone. But you're not senior to everyone, are you? For me, for example, you're a junior. If you try to command me now, it won't work. For some, you're junior. For others, you're equal. You need to learn humility. You need to bow to God, worship God, bow to Him, and therefore your humility will develop. It's simply a matter of working on yourself. Keep working. Working on yourself means serving God. It's not just that I'm working on myself. This is incorrect. You need to develop your service to God. You serve, bow to God, and you change. This is God encouraging you. And now He has punished you. With this biased, harsh vision of people, this is punishment. You are punished. But if you bow to God, the punishment will pass and loneliness will decrease.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be happy. Let's move on.
St. Petersburg. After Petersburg, please get ready, Omsk.
Yes, I'm listening.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. Thank you very much for the opportunity to ask questions. For dedicating your time to us, I have such a question. As I've been engaged in spiritual practice, I seem to have become, as you said last time, somewhat egoistic, experiencing egoistic loneliness. But in my case, maybe it's not only connected with thinking that someone is unworthy. I'm also afraid that I lack spiritual strength. And maybe it's also connected with the fact that I haven't fully processed my previous breakup.
Well, right now you're just resting from everything, wanting to be happy, accumulating happiness. It's normal. What's the problem? Why worry? As one person wrote to me, Dr. Torsunov, when I'm in the shower, I want to eat. When I'm eating, I want to talk. When I talk, I want to sleep. I say, you need to endure what you're doing. Learn to live with what you have now. Right now you have a break from relationships. Rest, recover, that's great. Rest, enjoy spiritual life, recover, and don't try to build close relationships right now because they bring difficulties to a person's life. And you're doing well? Now you're happy, floating like a butterfly?
Yes, it's just that there are also many people starting to surround me. You said that God gives such an opportunity to be surrounded by many people. And I'm afraid that suddenly this will end later.
Of course, when you rest, you become beautiful, attractive. People immediately feel this, start to stick around trying to get happiness from you. That's normal.
And also, you said that a developed woman is one who doesn't strive for a career, doesn't work herself to death. I gave up on that. I do what I like. But for some reason, I meet men who either don't understand it, meaning they think that a woman should work. Or those who are ready to take financial responsibility, but haven't achieved anything in this regard yet. Why?
In other words, you meet men according to your level of development. They're not developed enough, you're not developed enough, and so you meet similar ones. Develop yourself and you'll meet different ones. Or accept what you meet and develop together. That means you need to accept what you meet. If I meet such men, it means I deserve such men, so we'll develop together with them.
So the fact that I'm doing what I love doesn't mean that I'm developed in this regard?
Whether it means that or not, it's determined by those who you meet. If you meet such people, it means you're at that level. Well, what can you do? These are your current possibilities.
I understand, thank you.
Let's say a person can do a 2-meter high jump and thinks, maybe someday I'll jump 215? No, it's not possible. You might jump 2 meters and 3 centimeters if you're lucky, but 2 meters 15 centimeters, no. Because you don't know how yet, you don't have such strength.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question. Please get ready. Sevastopol also wanted, not to ask a question, but to thank you. We'll just pass it on. Dr. Torsunov, thank you very much from Sevastopol.
Good, I accept the gratitude. Good afternoon.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. My name is Elena. I wanted to ask you, when will my period of loneliness end?
You don't have it now. You don't have a period of loneliness. You don't have such a period where you must be lonely. You don't have it anymore. You just don't have the right direction in life to not be lonely. You don't have such a direction. This is what I can say.
You know, whether you believe it or not, but in my apartment in 2013, a portal opened.
Yes, you're involved in some occult things, all these pillars, portals, connection with the cosmos, but you need to love people, wish them happiness, take care of them. Then it will happen. If you have a portal opening, then you'll have family life with spirits, but if you want to have it with people, then you need to take care of people. If you serve spirits, they'll be near you. If you serve people, you'll be surrounded by people. Everything depends on what you're tuned to, where your antenna is directed.
Dr. Torsunov, it happens that spirits show me my future, who I'll meet, what situations will occur.
I don't need you to tell me now how great you are, do you understand? We're talking about something else. We're talking about your loneliness. You can be as talented as you want. But a man needs a woman, not a prophet. A prophet is needed in a temple, let's say, for some followers who will worship you. They will come, fall on their knees and ask, "Predict my fate," and you will stand there. "Your fate is this," and so on. That's normal. If you like it, do it. But we're talking about loneliness now, right? If it's about loneliness, then a woman should be gentle, beautiful, smile at everyone, take care of everyone, help everyone, be kind, and stop opening portals in her head. Because this scares men away. Why would I need someone who's all about portals? It's scary. What if she starts telling me all my thoughts, constantly reading and revealing them? As soon as I think of something, it all comes out. What kind of life would that be for me? Decide what you need. If you want to get married, then choose one kind of behavior. If you want to be a prophet, then choose different behavior. You choose what you want.
I need a man whom I could love to connect my fate with him.
This is incorrect thinking. Because at your age, you will live with whoever loves you. And if you fall in love with someone, they won't love you back. At this age, usually the energy of love is very strongly pulled to one side. After 40, it's difficult to find mutual love where I strongly love someone and they strongly love me back. This is maybe possible at around 20 years old. With age, something else happens. Either you strongly love someone who doesn't love you back, or someone loves you, but you don't love them. So the only solution is someone loves you. And you accept this person and gradually start to love them as a result simply because they love you.
Let me ask a second question. How will my communication end with this person, Constantine?
It's impossible to say how anything will end. This is generally incorrect thinking because a person always has freedom of choice. You can communicate and create a family with this person or not. It all depends on how much effort you put in. There's no such thing that these relationships must be destroyed or must be created. Everything depends on your efforts. Make the effort.
That's all, thank you.
Look, you lack correct thinking. Your main problem is that you've read too much philosophy connected with doom, with some kind of fate. You understand? You have incorrect thinking, incorrect philosophy. You need to learn to think differently, that a person is the master of their fate, that they can overcome it. That one can overcome fate. All difficulties are surmountable. When a person thinks this way, they really do overcome it, because one hangs by a thread. This thread means it's either doom or victory. And if a person believes even slightly in doom, they will never be able to win in life because there's a very thin line between doom and victory. Therefore, a person must believe 200% that everything will be good, that they will overcome their fate. And you should never go to astrologers or prophets who doom you to something. Just right before this, there was a conversation about it. They predicted something to a woman, and she suffered greatly because of it. Even though she has opportunities to get married and maintain relationships, she has all these possibilities. But she simply fell under the influence of a bad person. And you are also under the influence of this foolish philosophy. Next question.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. I am very grateful for your work, for your lectures. I've been listening for about 2.5 years. I try to pray. I have such a question. I've been married for 8.5 years. I have 2 children. And about 2.5 years ago, we started having a crisis in our relationship.
What started?
Crisis in relationship, misunderstanding, coldness between us.
Yes, that is right. It is a bad period. By the way, it is almost over now. That's all.
I'm working on myself, developing, trying to understand what else I haven't worked through, my peculiarities in relationship with my husband, in relation to myself.
Well, try to understand this. When you feel a burden, you need to pray. You already have passed the first stage. You achieved inner happiness. You feel that everything will be fine. You've already stepped out a bit to the second stage. You've already started to establish some contact with him slowly. You've overcome about 10% of the second stage of defeating fate. Well, keep praying. Overcome your fate. First, you need to cleanse everything through prayer. Then build relationships. You need to take not only external actions. You say, what else should I do on the outside? What else should I say, do, clean, so that he would warm up to me? No, you just need prayer. And cleanse these relationships through prayer, and then build them correctly. This is where psychology is needed. First, prayer. Psychology won't help at the first stage, but when everything is cleansed, then you need to study how to communicate correctly, how not to destroy relationships. That's how it is.
Thank you very much. And the second question. Almost from the beginning of our relationship with my husband, I have had difficult relations with my mother-in-law. For almost 9 years now, I've been trying to improve them, but so far without success. Perhaps I lack some kind of acceptance.
There are more difficulties in this relationship in your fate. You are more punished through your relationship with her. You have a bad fate there, and therefore it's better not to get close to her at all. Right now, just pray more to ease the influence of fate and then establish such a relationship which is called service, where there is no exchange. You bring her a cake, give her presents, and talk less. Just give her something. Give and don't take anything from her until she fills up. But first, prayer. You need to overcome this heaviness of resentment, despair in your heart through prayer, and only then give gifts to your mother-in-law and take care of her. That's the sequence.
Specifically care for my mother-in-law?
Yes, of course. You see, you don't want to care for your mother-in-law.
No, I actually wanted to say that thanks to the last 2 lectures, I tried to listen to the whole seminar. A lot has changed inside. And relationships as well. Thank you very much.
If there is a feeling that you don't want to care for your mother-in-law, it means prayer is needed. You need to cleanse until there's a feeling that everything is good.
On the contrary, after last Saturday, such energy of love towards my mother-in-law came. I was so delighted by this. Thank you very much.
Good. Happiness to you.
Dr. Torsunov, thank you for everything. I have such a question about taking care. Now, probably all thoughts in my head will get mixed up. You know, helping other people is much easier for me than taking care of my home, my family.
It's like that for everyone because people don't have such tight connections with you, and karma doesn't act as heavily as it does through close people. This is how it is for everyone, and it's always like this. It's not just you. It's very difficult for everyone to care for close ones. It's much easier to help strangers, much easier. Helping friends is harder than helping strangers, and caring for close people is harder than caring for friends. And taking care of the closest ones is even harder.
I have a feeling that I constantly neglect my husband. By fate, the Lord gave me a very good husband. He has very good qualities, very good ones. Others are far from having such qualities. The only thing is that I worry a lot about him. He is not a religious person.
Worrying is laziness of the soul. Worrying means laziness of the soul. When you start worrying, sit down. Start thinking about God, distract yourself from your husband, and gradually cleanse this situation, and you won't worry. Worrying is laziness of the soul. Let's say my floor is dirty. I worry, when will I wash this floor? How should I wash it? Or let's say I need to cook. I worry, oh, I can't cook. It's so hard, but I want to eat. So worrying is simply laziness of the soul.
Yes, probably.
What do you mean, probably? Did we meet here to make assumptions? I'm telling you for certain, not probably.
I just worry a lot. That's why everything is getting mixed up in my head now. Please forgive me.
Everything is fine. I'm not accusing you.
Whether I ask correctly or incorrectly, I don't know. But I've been thinking for a week whether to ask you this question or not. Because it somehow doesn't feel right to discuss it.
Well, go ahead, ask. Don't put yourself down so much. Take the normal internal position of a joyful, happy person who talks to me happily. Yes, everything is so hard. Well, let's talk like this now. Do you like it? If I behave like this too. Come on, smile. Let's become cheerful. Put your self-dignity in the center. Be happy. Look at me joyfully. Now do it. Let's be happy. You should be happy. You've seen Dr. Torsunov. You should be happy.
My main question is about my husband. Maybe this will help me to properly tune in to help him, despite the fact that he is an absolutely non-religious person. He lets me go everywhere, to all seminars.
So he's not completely non-religious. How can an absolutely non-religious person let go?
He treats me very favorably.
Well, it means he's religious. This is how faith manifests in men. They don't show they're religious, they just let their wives go, that's all.
What scares me is that sometimes he can mock dignified people, or say something not very positive about the altar.
This means that you are very attached to dignified people. He's jealous. And a man wants to be number one in his wife's life. And he's saying, I'm better this way. Well, it's okay. Nothing terrible.
Won't it harm him?
He's just being cocky. If he pecked at someone, of course, they'll peck back at him. So it does bring harm. Well, that's how roosters live. They peck at each other periodically. It's just male nature. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if they peck him.
So my care and love for him.
You need to put your self-esteem in its proper place. You have a false understanding of what's right, what humility is. You're confusing humility with humiliation and making amends with humiliation. Making amends is a joyful thing. Humility is a calm, strong position that has no humiliation or sadness in it. Humility is simply a position of service, that's all. When a person serves, if they're humble, there's no need to be sad, unhappy, exhausted. If you want to take care of your husband so that he feels your care, your strength, then become joyful. A joyful state in itself is already service to the husband. A husband really likes a joyful wife. Imagine if you constantly say, oh, I'm not good enough for you. You're so good, I'm such a fool. And you constantly behave like this. Well, who would like that? He needs a wife, not a walking chamber of repentance. Decide for yourself, what do you want? If you want to bring happiness to your husband, become happy yourself.
I behave normally at home. I think, on the contrary, I sometimes feel superior to him.
And behave normally here too, so I don't make mistakes, so I don't feel that something's wrong with you.
Please tell me, do I need to tell certain things to my husband to discipline him?
Well, of course.
Some knowledge, but where is that line? When to tell him?
This line is in kindness and humility. When I say something, I say it kindly and gradually. I tell my wife, maybe our kitchen floor is a little bit dirty. And she says, well then, clean it yourself. That's her response. I say, okay, thank you, my dear. I'm so happy to communicate with you. I conveyed the information to her, but unobtrusively, calmly.
Thank you very much.
Very kindly. Separate two things. One thing is to convey information, and the second thing is to make someone do something. Often people combine these things together. To make someone do something, you need to inspire them. The principle is, do it yourself as you want them to do it, and they will be inspired and will do the same. And if you want to convey information, then convey it without forcing, very carefully, gradually, as if you have nothing to do with it.
When I tell him certain things, for example, should I say it and not get attached to whether he will do it or not?
Yes, don't get attached to whether he will do it or not, because it's his choice. If he doesn't do it, it means you can't inspire him. You just said it, that's all. And he decides for himself whether to do it or not. He already knows that it needs to be done. But if he doesn't want to do it, then it's a different topic already. It means that he might lack strength or inspiration. Or your relationship isn't deep enough for him to want to do something for you. There are many reasons why he doesn't do it. You need to separate these things, discipline and forcing. You can always discipline a person, but speak very kindly. This is like this, and that is like that.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. I have a question. How to overcome fears in our life?
Fears are past experiences of defeat. They are always overcome through victories. Start overcoming something little by little. For example, you told yourself, I'll wake up at such and such time, and you do it. That's already a victory. Or you decide, I'll pray for 15 minutes, and you prayed for exactly 15 minutes. That's already a victory. Or I'll get into cold water, and you did. That's a victory. And gradually, through such promises that you give yourself, you become confident that you can win. Fears are just a volume of work that seems impossible, but an experienced person who simply experienced victories also feels fear. They also have fear, but they sit down and begin prayer, and overcome this fear through service to God. Or they overcome it in reality if it's a situation where you need to act practically, not on the subtle level, but on the physical level. Fear simply means some past experience of failures that you had earlier in life. You ended your previous life in some very lost state. Fate broke you badly there somehow. And therefore now in this life you have this feeling left, and you think there's nothing you can do about it. But this is incorrect thinking. You just need to keep overcoming it, keep winning, and everything can be overcome. At first it seems impossible, but then it doesn't seem that way when you pray.
And related to this, a second question. How to pray correctly? What to ask from God? To ask or to thank Him?
No need to ask for anything. No need. He knows everything about us. He wants to help. Well, when we are strongly attached to ourselves, He can't help us. Because in our heart, either we can live on our own, or God can live there. Our goal is to detach from ourselves, start serving Him, think about Him constantly, do something for Him and watch our heart. What's happening with it? Is He doing something there or not? And you see that He is doing something there, it becomes easier for you. But how He does it, you won't know. It just becomes easier. And that's all. Well, you do everything for Him. And forget about yourself. The purpose of prayer is to forget about yourself.
Sometimes it's hard after prayer.
If it's hard, it means you didn't finish praying correctly. You start praying, your fate comes out, but you've already finished praying, and so it stays outside. That's why it's hard. It's like you're lifting something to put it on top of a closet, but you don't put it on top of the closet, you lift it and let go. And what will this thing do? It will hit you on the head. It's exactly the same when performing prayer. A person brings the energy of fate out, it will continue to act. They bring it out, but don't burn it. And what happens then? Then it will just destroy everything since it came out. You need to burn it.
How to serve God correctly?
Correctly, thank Him, love Him, bow to Him. Correctly means to simply be grateful, rejoice in Him, do something for Him, go to a temple, distribute food to the poor, but do it for Him. Correctly means to serve with joy. That's what's correct. God is always very grateful for this. If we set ourselves up this way, God really likes it. That's how we should serve.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. Thank you for everything. I have a question. I have never received a marriage proposal in my life. I have never been married. I have a child, a son.
Did you hear that, men? She has never been married. What a great girl. Everyone is looking for someone who has never been married, who has never received a proposal. Well, here we have one, please look. Do you like her or not? Beautiful, good person.
And I have a question. Am I developing correctly now to create a family?
Of course you're developing correctly, but you don't have enough strength yet. You currently have about 35 to 40% of the strength needed to create a family. You need to be more gentle, more affectionate, happy, cheerful, caring, and confident. And men won't be able to resist you. If you reach a certain level of strength, become stronger than them in your love and kindness, they will start responding to it. It will be difficult for them to just be around you. They will feel that you are hypnotizing them with this power. The power of care, affection, and love, and that's it. They will submit to this power, lose their composure.
Thank you very much.
That's all there is to it. Some women think, what else haven't I put makeup on to make them look at me? This is incorrect thinking. You don't even need to wear any makeup at all. If a woman deeply cares for everyone, she loves everyone. Cinderella was all disheveled and unkempt, but despite this, the prince chose her, the best man in the kingdom. Beauty is also needed, of course, but it's not the main thing, you understand? The main thing is the inner feminine position of care and kindness towards people in general. You had a philosophical position before. You looked at everything from a philosophical perspective, tried to understand how everything works. You had a strict position. Yes, this is what I think. It's good. It's a great position to be a teacher, an educator, to give people knowledge, but not to get married. Because a man doesn't need knowledge, doesn't need a teacher or an educator. He needs a wife, kind, gentle, affectionate.
Thank you.
Smile, be happy, and everything will be fine.
I want to tell you that it's a great honor for me that fate has given me such an opportunity to meet you today and listen to your lectures.
It's also a very great, huge honor for me to meet you.
Thank you. Here's my question. My husband left me about 5 years ago, and we have a 7-year-old child, a girl. When we lived together, there was a very difficult situation. My self-esteem was very low at that time. I behaved quite incorrectly, and maybe I didn't even know it. But we have a child. Now the girl is 7 years old. She loves her father very much and communicates with him. And I pray for him, wish him happiness, try to make everything good. But I have a question. Very often when I pray for him, start to say something to him, he addresses me very rudely. He sends some not very good text messages, some unkind phrases. This often hurts me.
The thing is that a person has a choice. There's always a choice, to return or not. And what you're telling me now indicates that he doesn't want to return, and you can't force him. Therefore, don't pray for him to return to you. You are a wonderful, kind person. He doesn't deserve you at all. Just cheer up. Understand that people need you. Some man needs you. Just accept the fact that God decided who will be your husband, not you. Because right now you're just being stubborn. You want this particular person to be a good father to your child. But understand that God will decide. Maybe he will give you someone even better. I can see that God has already prepared someone better for you, but you don't know about it. And you're being stubborn and keep insisting while he's already tired of it. It's already hard for him. He doesn't want to return. No one can force a person to return, not even God.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
Well done. Everyone is reasonable. Everyone understands everything well right away.
I'll take note of it. Thank you very much again.
Don't take note of it, but understand it. What do you mean by take note?
I understand.
If you do this, you'll overcome your fate.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, be happy.
I would really like to thank you for your work, Dr. Torsunov, for everything you do, for the knowledge you spread. After listening to the lectures, I still have 2 questions that don't fit together. First, we often talk about how male and female egoism manifests differently, but does loneliness also manifest differently for men and women? Or is it somehow a common theme, loneliness?
Loneliness indicates a person's underdevelopment, meaning it's a social weakness. In other words, the inability to see God in people and serve Him. The inability to see God in people, the inability to see human kindness, beauty. We will talk about this today. The inability to see this, to be grateful and serve all this, that's loneliness. It manifests differently in men and women. In women, it manifests as an inability to love, and in men, as an inability to be strong and to overcome, to give of themselves. In men, it's self-doubt. In women, it can be laziness or female self-doubt as well. In general, it's the same thing. It's the lack of faith in God who lives in people, lack of understanding of the divine in people. Lonely people don't care for others, because a person who cares for people cannot be lonely in principle. There are just different types of care. For example, if I only care for the elderly, I cannot get married. I can rise very high in my career because I care for seniors. But in this case, my self-esteem doesn't work in a way that allows me to create a family, because to listen to seniors, you need to be humble, honest, obedient. But to create a family, a man must be strong, responsible, with a firm character. That's when he becomes worthy of creating a family. And so on. Service to people in itself gives the strength to create a family.
I understand. Thank you. And the second question. How to learn to see the divine in people. What are divine qualities? And how to learn to focus on them.
Look at the girl to your right in the white scarf. She is kind and insightful. Don't turn around, I'm talking about you. Yes, kind and insightful. These are her divine qualities. You are honest and faithful. These are your divine qualities. The man sitting on the other side, he is humble and thoughtful and also kind. These are divine qualities in people. Every person has divine qualities. We need to learn to see them.
Through prayer, as I understand.
By helping other people. If you do something good for a person and they express gratitude, through this gratitude you can see the divine in that person, because gratitude illuminates these divine qualities. It's like a sun coming out of a person, and when you see it, you understand how this sun manifests in them. Every person has their own sun, and when you do something kind for people, you see this sun, and you comprehend the divine in people. Then you do more good deeds, and you comprehend even more. This is how an endless exchange goes on, and you become filled with beauty. What is beauty? It's the power of love for people. That's what human beauty is.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for your answer. Maybe we can still fit in Canada in these 5 minutes.
Yes, we can make it.
Thank you, Dr. Torsunov.
Thank you too.
A question. In all relationships, I only think about how to help others. How can I fix this a bit?
How can you fix what?
Fix this. All relationships fall apart because I try to help everyone.
Ah, that's what you mean. Look, you need to learn not only to help by giving, but also to help by receiving. That means you need to learn to accept from people. Accept what they give you with love. Say thank you, express gratitude. A person doesn't accept something from another person because they're afraid of getting hurt in the process. So you need to remove the fear. You need to learn to trust people and accept gratefully from them and give gratefully. These are two types of service to others, giving gratefully and receiving gratefully. Learn to accept gratitude. For example, right now as I'm speaking to you, you're nodding. When a person nods, they're not accepting, but you need to simply accept. I'm telling you, you need to accept gratefully, and you just took in everything I said. There you go. Well done. That's how you accept.
Thank you very much. Answering the previous question, you were telling people about their divine qualities. I'm very interested to know about mine. You were telling everyone while answering the previous question. I'd like to know too.
You have kindness, you are a kind person, a gentle person, a kind and gentle person, a peaceful person, but you have one problem. Your self-esteem is lower than it should be. You need to become stronger, more solid, so to speak. But not proud. Strong, but not proud.
Thank you very much.
Let's try again. Not a quiet thank you very much, but more lively. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Come on, let's try.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy that I finally got to meet and talk with you personally.
Thank you very much, but without pressure, just joyfully. Thank you very much. Show yourself as strong. Come on, let's try.
I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
Well done. That's strong. I like it. Well done. Self-esteem should be in the middle. Otherwise, a person is not likable. They're not harmonious. Self-esteem should be neither low nor high, not that we jump from bottom to top, as if flying from the past into the future. For example, I was depressed. Now I'm a workaholic and I have no time. We need to be in the present. A person should be in the present. They should be able to look into the eyes, be able to maintain a firm inner position showing that I won't let you down. I'm neither weak nor proud, and not looking at you with that sad gaze from the past expressing what I've been through in life. I'm looking at you, but I don't see you. I have no time. It should not be like that. But I'm looking at you in the present. Right now I see you. I have time for you. I'm calm, firm, joyful, and so on. This is what creates relationships. This kind of position, everyone who doesn't have relationships needs to develop this position. Find yourself, diagnose yourself, what you're lacking. Find yourself. So let's start slowly from this moment.
Yes. Can I add something? There was such excitement here about divine qualities. I suggest after the seminar ends, you all talk to each other and tell each other what divine qualities you see in one another.
And what are my divine qualities? Come on, tell me. I want to know too.
You have many divine qualities, practically all qualities of a holy person.
Stop it. That was a joke.
Make sure to talk to each other and tell what divine qualities you see in one another.
That's right. Everyone keeps making me do everything, but it's your work. You should learn to see divine qualities in each other, not train me. I'm already trained enough. Can't go any further.
Definitely. And organizers, please supervise this. That's all. Thank you, Dr. Torsunov.
So let's continue. We were talking about the need for inner strength. This strength is created through prayer, you see. A person should pray, and if they can't pray, they should then simply thank God constantly. Help other people, feed birds, go to temple to help with something. That means a person should serve God in different ways. The most powerful way is remembrance. When you detach from yourself, think about God and repeat God's name. This is the most powerful method. I was even repeating Muslim names recently. I was repeating Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, which means praise be to God. So there are different prayers, Orthodox, Muslim, there are Christian prayers, Jewish ones, and so on. They all praise God, and you need to, in your faith, in your tradition, find a prayer and repeat it. Praise God, glorify Him, and develop in this way. And when you've developed inner strength, let's say there's separation, someone left you, and you feel that you're already overcoming your fate. That person is already ready to come visit. Keep developing your strength. Don't agree to small compromises. The main thing is that you've taken the right position. You're not miserable, not stupid, not exhausted. You're happy and joyful even without them, but you want the relationship to be restored. This is always the right position in life to overcome fate, just a little bit more needed. Meaning you're already strong, not like you're dying there. I'm dying, come back, I can't live without you. Who needs such a dying person anyway? But when they're ready to come, to meet, accept it, but tell yourself that this isn't enough for me. I want permanent relationships, deep relationships, though I feel good even without them. Like yesterday at our lecture, a girl was praying and praying, then suddenly thought, do I even need this? She already felt better, she feels good, and she's already thinking, so why should I bring him back when I feel good without him? That's a different question. You see, this means that these people weren't really a family in the first place. But if you have a family, a close person is not against returning to the family. There are cases when a person simply doesn't want to, no matter how much you pray. Well, they're not against it. They have a normal attitude but are afraid or have some other difficulties. Further prayer is needed. There's nothing else you can do. And you also maintain the right internal position. If you pray but you're either humiliated or too proud, you think you're not worthy of me while praying. Well, that's all useless. The right position is, I care for you. I love everyone. I am strong. I am overcoming fate. I am not weak. I want to take care. I want to live now, not in the past, not in the future. This is the normal, correct internal position that defeats fate. Most importantly, you shouldn't fall under the strong influence of desires of love. Is it clear? This desire of love which lives in a person we should learn to give to God with all our might. And expecting love from God means feeling joy in the heart, good mood, a sunny day, and everything else. And we should always rejoice in God. We should always expect that I will be happy with the Lord in life. But if a person thinks that they will get the most happiness from another person, then it will always lead to destruction and separation. One shouldn't believe that they will only get happiness from another person. If a person is set up this way, then they eagerly wait for someone. They even start praying and working on themselves. This means that most likely the person won't come, because greedy expectations push people away. These greedy expectations push away. It's incorrect thinking. People must desire God in their life very much. And as for a person, you just miss them a little bit and you joyfully take care of everybody. But if you miss a person too much, then separation follows. You can only believe in a person once. You won't believe the second time because it's very painful. Faith is a terrible thing. It can destroy a person's entire life. People must learn to believe only in God. The Lord controls everything. The Lord gives me a person. A person doesn't come by themselves, but the Lord either gives or doesn't give. The Lord doesn't give a person because I'm unworthy, I did something wrong. This means I need to study it. It doesn't mean the Lord will come and give himself to you. No. People must believe in the Lord. It is just the result of your faith. If you serve God right, the time comes, and a person who is meant for you comes. You can't pray for better than what you're meant to have. Everyone always gets what they deserve in life. This is how this world is arranged. And this is also an important aspect. If a person doesn't like what they deserve, they think, no, I don't like this. This one is too short. This one is too rude. Well, then you deserve people like that, so why show off? That means you should simply accept everything and live with the person that God gave you. It's very important to understand that a person is never lonely. We are not alone. Loneliness means a person is not developed. It means lack of strength, inability to work on oneself. All this is loneliness. It's simply incorrect thinking. And especially if you meet these idiots who tell you, you have a cross of loneliness, you have a widow's loneliness hanging over you, or a trump cross of misfortunes and so on. Why listen to these card-reading lunatics? Don't bring all this doom into your life. You just need to understand the principle of life. If I'm a lonely person, it means I'm lacking something. It means I'm not completing something. And the most important principle to understand is that if you're sick, you lack nature. So go run in nature, do exercises, love nature. Health comes through love for nature. If you lack people, that means you're lonely. Learn to love people. God will give you opportunities through people. Why are you lonely? Because nobody needs such love. Who would want to live with a person who doesn't love anyone? God does want to give you people because you don't invest in people. He is unwilling to give you someone, and therefore he doesn't give. Because you'll just torment the person and that's it. This is also important to understand. Some people can't overcome difficulties that come into their life. This is another topic. A person needs to pray, become strong, bow to God, make amends, pray, serve. People sometimes get lost and don't understand how to overcome this life difficulty. Being lost means weakness in the heart, it's inner stinginess, unwillingness to serve, disbelief. People disbelieve that they can win through service. You understand? People often get lost when they find themselves in a difficult situation. They don't believe that they should continue living, serving, or doing something. For example, you come to a doctor who tells you your knees are sick, walk less, bronchi are sick, breathe less, skin is sick, be in the sun less, getting colds often, walk on the ground less. You can't breathe, can't be in the sun, can't walk, can't do anything. Kidneys are sick, drink less, that's all. If everything is sick, you should drink less, breathe less, walk less. It all means you need to die. This is incorrect thinking. If your knees are sick, then walk every day for a long distance, but not fast. Then your knees will become healthy. If your bronchi are sick, then move more in nature, breathe more. Breathe through it, and they will become healthy. If skin is sick, be in the rising sun, and it will heal. Similarly, when difficulty comes into a person's life, separation, for example, what should you do? Should you die, as some suggest? They say, you have a cross of loneliness. Wonderful advice, really great. Like when a person comes and says, give me food, I'm hungry. And someone in a hat with stars comes up to them and says, you won't find food, you'll die of hunger. Well, that's wonderful, very helpful. Did such a fortune teller help a lot? This is nonsense. We understand that we can find food, right? We can find food. But understand this thing, that just as food is given, so is a person given to another person. It's the same thing, it's just that this doom in the heart is perceived differently. When we want to eat, we believe and know that we can still find food, and we do something, work for it. Most people understand that you shouldn't beg for food, but simply earn and buy it for yourself, and that's it. Similarly, you need to earn good fate and live with a husband. You shouldn't beg. The most important thing is to break free from this idea that everything is doomed for me. Is it clear? You need to break free, force yourself to break free from this. This is the most difficult thing. You should pray and bow. You understood that you have a burden in your heart, that you have difficulties, a tough fate. You've evaluated yourself, standing before yourself. After you've evaluated, you need to live on, pray, bow, and go on living. Stop standing before yourself. Start doing something. If you continue evaluating yourself, you will lose strength because self-evaluation consumes energy. If you don't have the strength to pray, fine, go to nature, just start moving. Today I ran 15 kilometers and strength appeared. I was running along the river, back and forth, back and forth. There was nobody there, only 2 alcoholics. They were also charging with energy in their own way. My assistant and I were running together, no one else was there. They looked at us with understanding, we looked at them. So we were running there, and they were charging up, not with the river, but with alcohol. By the way, alcoholics also like to charge up in nature. They don't like being at home. They like to go outside, sit on a bench, charge up there, though they do it in the wrong way. But that's another question. I ran and I feel good now. I have a very energetic, good feeling, charged with the energy of air, and I want to pray. Now people often misjudge their condition simply because of laziness, physical laziness. Just start living an active life, charge up, and you will have the desire to both pray and love people. This will happen because you will be charged up. Often people don't even want to charge their life with nature's energy. You'll say, where is nature in Miami? We only have houses around. Nature is everywhere, not just houses, trees are everywhere. When I was in America, I saw geese swimming in every pond. Nature is everywhere, you just need to love it and see it. Don't look at cars around, but look at nature, focus on it and move actively. Run, you should enjoy life. This is the first thing that helps get rid of loneliness. Loneliness begins when I voluntarily lock myself up with a computer in my apartment. Loneliness starts with that, but you should try to see the world, enjoy it, and move in nature. Try to love people, smile at everyone, smile at dogs, smile at people, smile at the sun, and live like this. Get energized. Once you're energized, start helping other people. You feel it's going well, but something is missing. There's some obstacle, something is lacking. Let's say a woman says, I give and give to everyone, but don't know how to receive. Well, if that's the case, sit down and pray, make it work. If there are obstacles, overcome them through prayer. Don't worry about it. That means that you just need to understand the principle of life in general. What is the principle of life? The principle of correct living is this. If you want to live, live. If you want to die, die. If you want to live, then do asceticism practice, overcome yourself. Don't agree to be unhappy. Don't agree to be lonely. Don't agree with astrologers. Don't agree that no one looks at you. You should fight, work hard, and everything will definitely work out. This is the right way of life. This is how a person should live. This is the principle, to work hard. The heart should not be lazy. It should work and say thank you when you receive something. Some guy looked at you. Thank you, Lord. That's great, meaning everything is fine. Everything works out. Let's say, not the one you wanted looked at you. Some short fellow looked. Well, that's okay. A decent one will look at you eventually. Everything starts small and then turns into something big. The process is going on. You just need to keep moving forward. Don't be afraid. Everything has its time. You just need to move forward. This is the principle of life, the principle of overcoming loneliness. There are, of course, some details in all of this. Everything depends on your specific situation. If a woman loves a calm and quiet life, then you need to accept life as asceticism practice. Learn to live in asceticism practice, not living like, I'm fine and that's it. That's loneliness. When you like living with yourself, that's loneliness. Learn to live with people. Stop living alone with yourself. Start living with people around. Help other people. Don't allow yourself to relax in solitude. Force yourself to go out. Let's say a man has little earning potential. Start taking vows, perform asceticism practice, earn as you can. Develop humble relationships with elders to raise yourself in society, to increase your social level, to have more means. Progress in your activities. Don't change one job after another. Settle in one place and endure all difficulties there, and so on. If you have weak abilities in relationships, introversion, alienation, start with prayer, accept a mentor, and develop spiritual relationships first. The simplest thing is to develop spiritual relationships through our Good People Club. You can develop spiritual relationships with people there. We begin to become more open in relationships. Then you can visit relationship seminars, start making dignified friends, and develop relationships with friends. And then gradually a sign will come. The time will come. You'll meet someone. This is the very last stage. But at the beginning, start developing yourself. Listen, work on yourself, get yourself going. Understand that this world is open to you. Stop watching blockbusters or various movies. The real world is open to you. You can realize yourself, live, act on your own here. You can act on yourself personally, not through Brad Pitt. This is how you should think. If you've already engaged in spiritual practice and you've become detached from fussiness, you've stopped perceiving correctly what spiritual life is and think, spiritual life is only prayer and that's it. People are just a nuisance. If you've become so detached, it's false abstention. In this case, you should understand that the best service to God is helping other people and start to take care of people. You should start serving them, but not your ambitions to be holy and so on. These are all individual things that have to be understood as well. There are some individual things, flaws. You should understand them and act in the opposite way. If you're not confident, become confident. If you're overly confident, pressuring people, then learn to help other people. Don't pressure them. If you get too attached when someone notices you, then learn not to get attached. Learn to keep distance, stay further from the person so they don't cool off too quickly around you. Or vice versa, let's say, no one is attracted, they don't notice you. Some good women take care of everyone, but for some reason they go unnoticed. The reason is their appearance, an elementary thing for a woman. Some women don't even have this. I saw one film where they took a woman, put makeup on her, gave her a normal dress, and immediately people started looking at her. Everything else about her was fine. This is also necessary. If you don't make an effort, no one will look at you. You need some mechanism to attract attention. You need something to make people look at you. Some women have a very strongly developed mechanism for attracting attention, but there's nothing to look at inside, you know? That means everyone looks at her and sees nothing. Nothing will happen then. Women must have something inside. There should be kindness and desire to care. This is what men feel. They understand these things. Women also understand men well. They catch on, understand who he is, what kind of man he is. Men feel women well too. They also see and understand what kind of woman she is. They're afraid of getting the wrong woman. All people know what they need. We must understand what we need to become like that. We must work on ourselves in this regard. You have to understand that external things won't attract anyone. It's just external, it doesn't have too much significance. But internal matters. That's what matters. What else can be said about this topic of loneliness? The most important thing, as always, is spiritual strength. Everything in a person ultimately depends only on this. If you knew how to pray hard, you probably wouldn't need to do anything else. Because all character qualities and ability to help other people is a process of learning, and when a person connects with God, forgets about themselves, serves Him very much, then everything opens up before the person. How to treat people, how to behave with them, how to love them. The whole world opens up before a person's heart when they serve God. In fact, service is the most important thing. You just need to understand it more broadly. Often a person sits somewhere, serves God, and wants to get married at the same time. But this is impossible. God shows you, go to people, do something for them. But you say, no, I don't have time, I will pray. This means you don't need it. You simply don't need family life. Do you want to pray? Pray, that's great too. But if you want a family, then you need to do something for people, specifically for people. If you don't do this, you will never have a family. It's simply impossible. Let's say you love animals. If you do something for animals, you will have animals. If you love doing something for elders, you will have relationships with elders. If you love doing something for children, you will have relationships with children. If you want a husband, then you need to know how to do something for equals. It's not necessary for a woman to go looking for men to take care of them. It's not that you need to find someone else's man, start to care for him and pursue him. Men don't like this. You should take care of women who are equal to you, because since ancient times men have been attracted to relationships between women. If he sees that she is happy with her female friends, she enjoys communicating with them. This attracts men, because it's precisely the relationships between women that attract a man. Another option, if a man sees that a woman is showing off in front of men, walking around smiling at everyone, this is always disgusting to him. When he sees that the woman is showing off very much in front of men, it makes him disgusted. He thinks, I don't need such a wife, she will cheat on me. How can I live normally with her then? It's impossible. Therefore, a woman should communicate correctly with women. She should give them her love. This is a pure position. When a woman gives love to a woman, she remains pure. She has no impurity inside. These are pure relationships. Men with men have pure relationships. A man helps another man, takes care of men. You don't need to look for girlfriends. Some people think I'll find a girlfriend and then I'll be able to get married. Having girlfriends and boyfriends is not a way of development because it befouls a person. If a woman is friends with a man but doesn't plan to marry him, it means she loses the opportunity to get married. This is called befoulment, wrong relationships with the opposite sex. If you want to get married, stay away from men, don't be friends with them. If you're building a relationship, build it seriously from the start. Set a condition that you only need a husband, you don't need friends, and especially any casual relationships, you don't need that. Men have to stay away from women if they're single. Women have to stay away from men if they're single and accumulate the power of beauty and purity inside. Because the more beautiful and pure a woman is, the more a man wants to marry her. The purer and the more firm inwardly a man is, especially if he is not a womanizer, the more one wants to marry him. The foundation for family life is precisely chastity and purity in relationships between a man and a woman. It's not a loose and overly fretful style of behavior. Especially for America, I will say that the notion serving a man can be misinterpreted in certain countries. For instance, I was walking in Los Angeles with my friend and put my hand on his shoulder. He quickly removed my hand. I asked, "What's wrong?" He said that it would be misunderstood here. It turns out that if you put your hand on a man's shoulder, it means you already have a wrong orientation. There should be friendship between men. It is pure and bright by nature. Men should be friends with men. There's no wrong orientation here. It's a normal, proper orientation. A woman is friends with women. You see, true friendship between a man and a man, between a woman and a woman, is pure by nature. There are no sexual desires and can't be, in principle. It's even disgusting to think about it when you have true friendship. This friendship purifies a person and makes them strong in relationships with the opposite sex. And conversely, if a man has many girlfriends, it becomes harder for him to get married. I know one person in Moscow. He had tons of girlfriends, simply tons of girlfriends, but he had no wife. And none of these girlfriends had husbands either. Why? Because it's incorrect thinking. If you want to have girlfriends and boyfriends, then you won't have a husband. These casual relationships with women or men destroy the possibility of attracting a serious person to you. It's simply impossible. There's no possibility. Loneliness also happens because a person cannot forget. Chaste, pure, dignified women often cannot forget a loved one. They need to learn to forget. What should they do? They should distract themselves, force themselves, find strength within to detach from the person and put a period. To detach means to think strongly about God, to purify your relationship with this person, to give them to another person. And it means to perceive purely without any offense, without disappointments, without regrets. They should sincerely let this person go, completely let them go into life, let them live their own life. Don't be afraid to let the person go, to detach them from yourself. Don't be afraid, because if a person cannot be returned, what can be done about it? You must move on and purify the relationship. When a person purifies relationships, when they think, I am happy with what I had, you are a good person, I am grateful to you, I have no offense towards you, nothing, and so on. There is nothing bad, only purity, and that's all. Let the person go, give them the opportunity to live on. To let go means to treat kindly, forgive, and so on. It means ask for forgiveness and forgive, purify the relationship. Only God can help with this. You shouldn't think about the person at this time, but about God. You serve God, bow and watch if everything has been purified inside or not. God will purify everything for you if you think about Him. That's all. May God help you to be loved by others. That's all. You can wish good luck. I loved you so much, and may God grant that someone else loves you the same way. Not like, God forbid, that someone else would love you like that. No, on the contrary, may God grant that someone loves you this way. Pure relationships, bright ones. Everything remains valid. We cannot break relationships. Some try to break relationships but can't forget about them. You don't need to forget. You need to purify the relationship. The memory remains, everything remains, but it's pure, bright memory. Everything is good. May God grant you to be loved by others. And that's all. A person should continue on with life. They shouldn't worry about staying alone. To avoid being alone, you simply should help other people. Fill yourself with God and help other people. Sometimes people feel lonely in their personal life. Just now a woman asked me, I have a husband, but we are lonely together. And people are always lonely in their personal life because selfishness in the family has tremendous power. It destroys love, destroys relationships. Therefore, in ancient Vedic culture, it was prescribed to build a family correctly. This means to care for each other. It's also very important to help other people, invite them home, feed them, take care of them, and not to close off from others in family life. It's essential to open your doors to those friends who treat you kindly. They will bless your family, they will praise you, and will honor your relationship. When friends come, they always bless and purify relationships in your family. They always look at your relationships more purely and give you the opportunity to look at them more purely. Therefore, this is important thinking. To avoid being lonely, you need to have a home with open doors so that people can always come and you could take care of them with love, give them something from your home, and serve them. It's not like you tell your friends, come in with your groceries and put the receipts there on the fridge when you leave. Don't think like that. That means you need to give and not be afraid that you'll become poor. They will give you love. You will give something else. This kind of thinking gets rid of loneliness too. We'll open the door, call friends, start singing songs. It will become brighter for everyone. This is how a person should live. They shouldn't sit alone and be bored. Why am I so lonely and why don't I have any friends? Maybe someone has cast an evil eye on me? It's just laziness of the soul to think like that. Open the door, invite everyone, feed them, don't be stingy, and everything will be fine in your life. Your heart will gradually melt. It will become easier for you to live. If you quarrel, it's also loneliness and stubbornness. I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. Stubbornness is proving that you're right. There is no rightness at all in family life. It's woven entirely from selfishness. Nobody is right. I made a decision long ago that I am never right in relationships with my wife. That's it. Relationships improve immediately. My wife is always right. If she realizes she's wrong, that's good. If she doesn't realize it, that's fine too. People can't always understand things. I also don't always realize that I'm wrong. Well, at least that's what I think. I've accepted it all. I'm always wrong when there's a conflict. I'm wrong. And being right or wrong doesn't matter because love is right. If you want to love, then you should always concede. Truth is not needed in family life. Love is needed. There is no truth between ego. There's female truth and male truth. They don't intersect. There are no points of contact at all. There's nothing to unite over. The truths are opposite. Only love unites people. Only love is right. Nothing else can be right. If you don't have this connection, if you don't want to concede, then you'll be lonely. You need to learn to concede. You need to learn to accept. Learn to see purity in people through care for them. Look into their eyes. You need to look into their eyes to see purity. All this means conceding, fighting, winning. What's the goal? To learn to see a person's purity, to see beauty. If you see purity in a person, it reflects in your eyes as beauty. This is what makes a person attractive. This sometimes happens unconsciously. There are people who are very beautiful, but they don't know it themselves because they see beauty in people, and it reflects from their eyes and goes back to people. I see beauty in people, and it reflects from my eyes and goes back. Who is a beautiful person? It's someone who sees beauty in others. An unattractive person is one who has been beaten down and tormented by fate. They only see their own misfortune in others. This one looks like the person who robbed me. And this one looks like my wife who left me, probably just as worthless. A person evaluates others from the position of their own failure. They look at others with disappointment. They don't see their purity. This means their heart has become contaminated. There's no point thinking about personal life now. One needs to purify the heart through care for others. One needs to work in such a way, do something for people so that joy arises in people's hearts because of you. Then you will be happier. Then you will become genuine and beauty will return to your eyes. Unhappy people who have been beaten by fate can remain unhappy for life if they don't know how to get out of it. One needs to learn to see beauty in people, learn to see that it exists. Serve people and you'll see their beauty in their smiles. You'll remember it, it will reflect in your eyes. You'll become more beautiful too. This is the way to live. This is the meaning of overcoming loneliness, and don't think that you have a long way to go. You haven't even started this path yet. Most often people are just beginning this path and see that everything actually happens quickly. Just a year passes and friends appear. Life starts flowing. Just start following this path. It always seems like a long path, but that's just an illusion. It seems like a long path. Start doing it today. Stop sitting idly. Stop watching movies about love. Watching movies is poison. We need to live our lives, not live through television. Television is living for you now. We need to live our lives. Stop watching television, stop watching movies, go serve people, do something for others. Human culture is atrophying because people don't live. They just watch how actors live. Do they really live in movies? They're just acting. This is not life, this is acting. They exaggerate everything. It's not how things really are. It's done to make it more entertaining for us. They need more shooting, more love, everything mixed up, and nothing real remains. Why watch all this? We need to look at life and live, doing something for people. And watch how life flows. Look at people's faces, look at their eyes, look at their reactions. Then you'll be living among people, not among televisions or computer screens. These are the moments that are very, very, very important to understand. If you don't have faith in your heart that everything will work out, it means you have work ahead of you. If there's no faith in your heart that you won't be lonely, then only God can help you. Go to the temple and pray. You don't need to do anything else. First, the feeling that everything will be fine should appear in your heart, and then you can communicate with people. If this feeling isn't there, then you lack a relationship with God. You lack this pure power that overcomes loneliness. First, loneliness in the heart must pass. That's why our seminar is called Loneliness in the Heart, because loneliness begins in the heart and ends in the heart. Loneliness in the heart is the deepest thing, and it can only be overcome by serving God. In the temple, there are no people with loneliness in their hearts. Those who serve God are all very active, cheerful, and loving in their hearts. Contact with God brings you as close as possible to the feeling of being needed and having harmony in life. Those who pray feel no loneliness, even if people live in caves. In some caves, burrows, completely isolated from people. These people are not lonely. In their relationship with God, they feel so much love, warmth, depth, and happiness that they don't need anything else in life. This is the highest level of human development. They don't even need nature because they feel nature's energy from God. They don't need to communicate with people because they feel it from God. But we're not like that. We aren't that developed. We don't feel it from God, so we need to feel at least something from Him to start the mechanism of life in relationships with people. If you feel that you're lonely and nothing will happen, then you simply lack God. Start praying. Believe that everything will be fine. Hope. You need hope. So that it only sings about God. One song is enough, as long as it sings about God. I'm just getting older. Sometimes I can't hear what they're singing in the song. So that it only sings about God. When a person prays, it's a song about God, and when a person sings about God, one such song is enough. They play the same song about God over and over. Hope appears in their heart, you see. Hope appears in the heart, and success follows as a result. And why does success come to life? Because there is hope. If you don't hope for anything, there will be no success. Nothing will happen. They told you, you can't walk, your joints are sick, that's it. What about hope? You believed the doctor, and now you sit. You can't walk, there's no hope anymore, which means you'll become disabled. But if you don't believe the doctor, you keep walking, and the joints heal. You see, it's amazing that when you walk, they heal. Imagine that. There are other doctors, psychological doctors, they say, you are destined to be lonely, and you believe it. Well, that's it. Then you'll be lonely. But if you don't want to believe in this and start communicating with everyone, loving everyone, being friends, then you find a husband. One woman I know, she really was destined to be lonely. Of course, I never told her that. Well, there were no signs that she would get married, none at all. And whenever I came, she was always serving, taking care of everyone, doing everything. She asks, Dr. Torsunov, when will I get married? I say, soon, wait. But I don't say exactly when. Several years passed like this. Whenever I came to the city, she constantly served there, cooked for me, and constantly took care. She says, bless me. I blessed her. When will I get married? I say, soon. And so 5 years passed. She kept serving and serving. And when I arrive in the 6th year, she's so joyful, so happy. She cooks, takes care of everything, and doesn't even ask me, when will I get married? I say, why aren't you asking when you'll get married? She says, I already feel good as I am. I'm fine like this. I love everyone. Life has become so wonderful somehow, Dr. Torsunov. It's just so good. I think, well, that's it. She's ready for marriage. I say, that's it. Now you'll definitely get married. She says, well, okay, fine. And she didn't even blink, as if I hadn't said anything. This is a clear sign that marriage is coming. You see, when a woman is told, you'll get married soon, and she says, yes, okay, this means she has already overcome her fate. And she got such a dignified person whom it's simply impossible to meet in life usually. And now they have a happy family, and they live in complete harmony, hand in hand, heart to heart, living their whole life happily. You see, sometimes a person has a very high obstacle to getting married, but then the reward will be high too, you understand? But there are no lonely people, because once you overcome your obstacle, you can live on and get married. You have a high obstacle, overcome this high obstacle and get married. It's your right. But if you think you'll never get married because you believed these astrologers and all these fortune tellers, like in a fairy tale, an old witch. Well, it's in a fairy tale. This wicked witch, she arranged it so that the queen and a prince were sealed in a barrel there and sent across the sea. She slandered them. Such a wicked witch. And you believed such wicked witches who didn't receive happiness themselves and now ruin others' lives thanks to their foolish thinking. You shouldn't listen to all this. You see, you shouldn't listen to all this because it doesn't help. Sometimes people actually destroy others' fates with their supposedly wise speeches. You shouldn't pay attention to these people. If you feel a person doesn't give you anything positive, just pushing their own agenda, making a smart face, that's it. Go away from there. Don't talk to them. A person should help you get closer to victory. They should inspire you, tell you that you'll succeed. And this is true. This is true. This world is designed in such a way that it's woven only from victory that needs to be achieved. The question is whether you have enough strength and faith in all of this. That's what you should accumulate. Learn to believe. Learn to be strong. Learn inner courage. And don't believe fools who say none of this exists. And then you'll succeed in life. Everything will be fine. It's also very important to understand the very meaning of victory. What is victory? Victory is distraction from oneself. If a person starts to help other people, gets distracted from themselves, it means they're overcoming their fate. If a person is running, let's say, outdoors, in nature, listening to lectures, distracted from themselves and observing nature, listening to lectures, forgetting about themselves, that's it. During this time, fate is being overcome. If a person listens to a prayer, forgets about themselves and remembers God within themselves, maybe then they don't need to listen to anyone. Or listen to those who pray. Forgetting about themselves, it means they're overcoming their fate. When a person does something for others, forgetting about themselves, cooking for someone, doing laundry, cleaning, forgetting about themselves, during this time they're overcoming their fate. But when a person remembers themselves too much, then they destroy their life, destroy their fate. Like in the song, but memory, my evil master, will bring the past back again, something like that, will bring the past back again. That means you're done for. It means you're destroying your life. Memory is your evil master. You can't distract yourself from it. It will keep bringing the past back to you. This means that you're destroying your life. You're lazy. You don't want to pray, don't want to be attracted to those who pray, don't want to overcome your fate, don't want to move, perform asceticism practice, don't want to fast, don't want to move continuously for a long time in nature, don't want to stand near trees, don't want to swim in the river, don't want to be in the sun, on the ground, in fresh air, and so on, to charge yourself, to overcome fate. You don't want to live, you want to die. Then die, your choice. Some people don't want to live. A woman says, Dr. Torsunov, I'll never get married. I say, you will. Everything will be fine. I don't believe it. Well, okay, then die, no problem. Live alone. If you don't believe it, then die. I was told the truth that I'll remain alone, and I see it's true. Well, okay, then live like that. Let it be your truth. If you like living this way, live. It's your choice. Each person chooses for themselves. Either they go uphill, overcome obstacles, or they believe in a truth that doesn't exist. Because in this world there is no misfortune, there are only difficulties that need to be overcome. In this world there isn't a single misfortune at all. Not a single misfortune exists. There are only difficulties that need to be overcome. It's a question of the size of difficulty. Sometimes a person lacks the strength to overcome it. Then astrologers say, it's not meant to be, you have very bad karma. Well, it's not meant to be overcome. But these astrologers don't know that there's also God's mercy. It can burn all this karma, and a person should always believe one shouldn't doom anyone to anything. Go fight with your fate, overcome it. God will definitely help. He is not that stingy. If he sees that you can't do it yourself, he will definitely give you a hand and pull you out. He can pull you out of the situation that you can't handle yourself. He always gives hints. In my life, God always gives me hints. He has never left me in the dark, always gives hints. Sometimes he won't give a hint to correct me, that's a different matter. This also happens, but it's clear that I need to work on myself, make an effort. You need to choose the right path in life. If you've chosen the right path, then victory will come 100% sure. Now we have the next part of the lecture. We have 1 hour left. We will have a kind of exchange of experience about overcoming fate. Don't use me now as a vending machine for correct answers, meaning you throw in a question and an answer comes out. Now you need to share with me. That means you should share your experience of overcoming fate. We now have an hour for this. We have a practical session. That means you tell how to overcome, I tell what to do next, how you're succeeding, and what will happen next. Okay, Tallinn really wants to speak. Good, tell me. Now I will decide myself who will speak among those with raised hands. Turn on your microphone and speak. Tallinn, hello, I asked you.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. Hello, all listeners. I want to share exactly this kind of experience of mine. I overcame fate by becoming a mother. Although I couldn't give birth to a child myself, I was diagnosed. I adopted a 4-year-old boy. Today is exactly 1 year since I adopted him. I'm an adoptive mother, and today marks exactly 1 year.
You need to start running, cleanse your body, fast half a day in the mornings, run, love the child you've adopted, and you'll be able to conceive and give birth to a child yourself. Everything is possible for you. You just need to activate this female energy in your body. You simply lack movement, lack contact with the ground. That's it, move forward. You see, she made the right step. Being a mother doesn't necessarily mean giving birth yourself. You can simply adopt a child for starters. I have examples of one woman I know, one kind person, a kind doctor, so to speak. He gave her such a diagnosis. You have tuberculosis of the appendage, which means you'll never be able to give birth. This kind doctor helped, as I call it. In my childhood, there were such verses about kind people, those sadistic ones who always helped in everything. So what did she start doing? She didn't lose heart. She adopted a child. This was her first child. And she started fasting, started running, started cold water swimming, started a healthy lifestyle. Everything got going. She became active. She wishes happiness to everyone. She started living like this, and also this energy of love for the child already lives in her heart. She already loves. She already has a child. And then, unexpectedly, she gets pregnant despite what that nice doctor said, despite his predictions. She got pregnant, carried to term, gave birth to another son. She had the first son, then gave birth to another son, and then she gave birth to a daughter. She ended up having 3 children. When a woman wants to have children, it's preferable to have another child within 2.5 years. It works like a machine gun system. One bullet flies out, then others will follow. If you don't stop the shooting, they will keep coming one after another. If you stop shooting, that's it. Nothing else might come out. The idea is this. After giving birth to one, don't take a long break. Go for the next one right away, and then everything will work out well. The next and the next will keep being born. If you stop for 5 years, then it might not work out anymore. That's the system. That's what she did. Gave birth to one after another, and that's it. It was enough for her. 3 in total. The idea is that you shouldn't believe kind doctors, so to speak, those who call themselves doctors. Therefore, sometimes there's this danger that doctors often doom a person to something. What should be their goal? To heal. They should give advice on how to recover. That's what a doctor should do. But if they just doom someone to something, that's wrong. You can't think like that. You won't have children. What do you mean by you won't have? God gave a woman a female body so that she could have children. What do you mean, no children? There will be children, 100% sure. Good, you've shared your story. Well done. Let's continue. Working on yourself. What questions do you have? How to live further? What to do?
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. I was married. In my youth, I got married at 19, got divorced, and now for many years I can't start a relationship.
And you're not in your youth now? Look what a beautiful lady. She says she was in her youth. What a statement.
I was very young then.
Now that's different. You were very young, got divorced out of foolishness.
Yes, and for 10 years I couldn't get married. Not because there weren't any men, but because I was always too picky. This wasn't right. That wasn't right.
When you're this beautiful, it's understandable everyone looks. You can be picky about men.
The thing is, there was only external strength, but emptiness inside. And then I started praying to God. I didn't ask the Lord for anything, just prayed to Him. I understood that happiness isn't in a man, but in God. And then God gave me a husband. It happened that I went to a monastery, and they told me to write that God should give me a man He considers right, not the one I would choose. That's exactly what happened. I calmly accepted my fate. I love my husband very much. We have a daughter. By the way, doctors also said I had cancer and needed to get an abortion urgently, that the baby wasn't developing. She is 4 years now. Everything is fine, and the child is healthy. Now we've been living with my husband for 5 years. I'm very happy and I'm very grateful to God for all the difficulties. Because I'm cleansing myself this way. I accept everything with pleasure and love. I thank God every day for everything that happens.
Well done, well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful to you that there's such a unique opportunity to organize this seminar. Thank you so much.
Good, continue working on yourself. Do you have any questions about moving forward? This experience that people speak about, how they overcame their fate, needs to be shared, because many people often don't know that it's possible to overcome fate. And the second question is, how to move forward? What don't I understand yet?
Yes, I have such a question because I don't quite understand what to do next. I have an inner feeling that I need to have another child. I have a business. I work on the philosophy of healthy living in a development center. But now I want to stay at home. Be at home more so that my husband works more. And I want to rest more myself. I've established my business here. It's for my soul, for spiritual development.
Now is your time to conceive a child. And when such time comes for a woman, she intuitively steps back from activities. She's already saving energy for the child. And you just need to make it so that the business works by itself as it can, slowly. Don't develop it, just set it up and monitor it. And prepare yourself for the child, for conception.
Yes. God gives me all the answers, always. I just ask, and immediately the knowledge comes inside. I really want a child. I can already feel, probably, a soul nearby. I don't know. I can't explain it properly.
I confirm now is the time for this.
Thank you. Today even a dove flew in on Annunciation.
Everything is excellent. It means everything is working out. The system works. Next city.
Hello, may I ask a question?
What question? About self-improvement? What are you doing to improve your fate?
Many years ago, I left my husband.
Is this about self-improvement?
Then my mentor passed away, and only thanks to your lectures my condition improved.
Now calm down, stay calm.
And before that, I felt very bad several times. Thank you very much for your work. And now I have this question. I take care of children and my home. The question is whether I should work. I have had a permanent job for 10 years now. Should I develop in some other activity? This is the first question. And with the person I separated from, there remained an unfinished book. Should I finish it? That's the second question.
The first thing you must do is cleanse your heart from grief. If you don't do this, you won't be able to work, finish the book, none of these things, because this is a volume of work. You're crying, pointing out to me this volume of work, thinking that I need to do it instead you. I'm not against it, but you need to learn yourself. You need to learn to listen about God, think about Him, and pray. Cleanse your heart. Overcome all this inside yourself and then move forward. If you want to finish the book, finish it. It doesn't take 5 seconds to write it.
Dr. Torsunov, I have this question. When our mentor passed away, I started having doubts about the teaching, about what our mentor taught us. Was this teaching true or not?
I don't know. God will answer you in the course of your life. If you have doubts, don't finish the book. Don't do all this. You just need to cleanse your heart now. Help that person. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. What's important is that a person moves towards the truth. You need to help cleanse his heart through prayer and your heart as well. And then find some work for yourself. That means don't stay idle. Don't be inert. The most important thing now is to focus on cleansing your heart. I talk about this a lot, but you don't hear me. You need prayer now. Your heart is unclean. It's filled with suffering and grief. It needs to be cleansed. This is the first thing that needs to be done. A person cannot go anywhere with an impure heart. They will only spread dirt and suffering around themselves. That's great. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Go ahead, Miami, your question.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anna. I have lived with my husband for almost 40 years. When we got married, we were just children. Now I have 4 adult sons and 3 little grandchildren. And I just want to tell a story. All my life was full of passion, and my goal was self-sufficiency. I thought that my lifestyle was wealth and prosperity, and basically I worked a lot. Today I live in Miami, which is, I could say, my personal achievement. Well, up until today, life has been very turbulent, let's say, while I'm here in America. And, to get to the point, I ran away from my husband to America, because there were different things. We got together, we separated, got together again. But he was always around, and let's say, not he. But God didn't let our relationship end. And today I have such self-sufficiency that I live happily now. Wealth doesn't matter. What matters are relationships with people, with nature, with weather, with children, with husband. My husband reacts very sharply. He's jealous of all of this. He finally learned to earn money by himself. It's difficult here. He's a truck driver. He continues to work hard, and recently he almost got into an accident. There were 20 injuries.
I missed one thing. You ran away from your husband, and then suddenly you jumped to the part where your husband is already here. He's already working with you. Well, I missed that moment.
And he keeps being drawn to me. That means he doesn't go away no matter what.
Well, that's great. He's a good man.
The attitude has changed. I'm happy. I have no health problems. I changed my attitude towards life through my worldview. That means I live a full life. I communicate with dignified people, and life has become interesting for me. That means I don't suffer because someone isn't doing something.
What is your question about self-improvement?
Well, what should I do about my husband? He's around. He torments me.
Kick him out. Let him go back to Russia. What else?
No, I'm interested in why he torments me. Well, I'm kind of neutral about it. I just see how he suffers. He gets angry. He can curse with the worst swear words.
Accept the person. You need to accept him as he is and take care of him. Care for him, be patient, pray.
I have great gratitude for him. I already can notice his good qualities. But I can't, for example, thank him on time, hug him on time.
That's okay. And if you're lacking something, you need to pray. That means prayer is needed. You need a relationship with God. And relationship with God gives strength to do what needs to be done. You see, it gives strength, but most importantly, you must understand what to do with your husband. Nothing can be done with him. He represents your fate. It doesn't mean that you're unlucky and you got a bad man. This is your fate that runs after you. That means this is your fate. And you just need to pray to God to accept it first. When you accept your fate, life will immediately become easier. You'll become kinder. A kind person is one who accepts their fate. Once they've accepted it, they become kind, that's all.
I accepted my fate long ago, and I'm happy to live. But I see how he suffers, and I somehow want to elevate him. But he seems to be going down instead.
Well, don't be proud of yourself and elevate him with kindness, then he won't go down. If, let's say, I now think, you all live incorrectly here, and I live correctly, I'm so holy, well, you wouldn't enjoy communicating with me, you see. You would suffer in your relationship with me. But if I value you, respect you, your development, I respect you just as you are, I value and respect you. Then you also value me, respect me, accept me. Correct and healthy lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean that I feel good by myself. A healthy lifestyle is when I feel good in connection with other people, even if they live incorrectly. True kindness is accepting people, even those who are wrong. One great doctor simply accepted alcoholics, chronic alcoholics, into his clinic as if into his own home, and he accepted them into a big family. That means he didn't care whether they drank or not. He simply accepted them as people, and they saw that he respected them. They had such a rule: they didn't talk about drinking, but talked about life, and they communicated with each other and worked a lot there. And as a result, all people who came to him after a month or two quit drinking forever. Why? Because they saw human kindness in his eyes. You see, the ability to live happily and well in relationships with nature, work, and people is not yet an indicator of deep happiness. Deep happiness is the ability to learn to be compassionate through prayer, because compassion connects you with people, makes you closer to them, and makes you more fulfilled, a more profound personality. Well, that means there is external happiness and internal happiness. And at this stage, you need to cultivate inner happiness within yourself.
Is it normal when you see a person's soul, their purity? I see through him, as if my children are in him. You know, I see him as a child. Is this normal?
Yes, that's exactly what's needed.
The more I see this, the more rudely he treats me.
Because first the poison needs to come out from inside. Because when you don't see all this, it builds up inside him. When you see it, first the poison comes out, and then kindness follows. First the angry dog comes out from behind the gate when you open it, and only then the kind owner appears. You see, that's why you should just continue to take care of your loved one. His angry dog will come out, bark, and then the kind owner will come out, meaning his soul. Well, that means you need to wait a little, be patient, because you've opened the lid and there all the unnecessary has accumulated over a long time, and there's such an explosion. At first you thought everything was normal. You open it, there's a boom, the lid flew off because it hasn't been opened for a long time. You see, everything accumulates in him. You don't communicate with him, don't look at him kindly. Everything builds up inside him. Then you looked into his eyes, and first the bad came out. This is normal, then the good will come. Just wait a little bit. It's important for me now, my dear friends, that you ask me questions about overcoming fate. Don't tell me how great you are, how you're defeating fate. I don't need to hear this. I need you to ask questions. For example, I'm doing this now. What should I do to make it better? This is how our conversation should be. This is very important. It will benefit everyone. Because when someone says, I've defeated fate, if I tell you now, I've defeated fate, everything is great for me, what benefit have I brought with these words to the people sitting here? None, because they didn't get any experience from these words. I need experience, your experience. Either you tell what you did when you were overcoming fate, or you ask about what to do right now. These are the kind of questions I need, because everything else is a waste of time. Moscow 1.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. I have such a question. I'm praying now. Before I used to pray for about 45 minutes. Now I've started praying for 2 hours. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not.
Right, the more you pray, the better the result. Definitely it's correct.
And I can't understand if I'm doing it right, because I'm trying to do as you say. But there's some confusion inside. I mean, I can't do it as you say.
Oh, I see what you have. You're getting overtired from prayer. The confusion comes from tension. That means that you're exhausting yourself. Maybe you don't need to pray for 2 hours, but rather an hour and a half, a bit less. That means that you have tension from exhausting yourself. A person working on themselves shouldn't torture themselves. They should maintain balance, a middle position. Look, for example, when I started running, I only ran 500 meters. I felt tired beyond that, so I didn't run further. Well, that's the rule. Then 600 meters, everything started very slowly. After about 5 or 6 months, I could only run 2 kilometers. You see, and then when my body gradually got going, approximately over the last year, I increased the distance from 12 to 18 kilometers. In other words, everything has its time. That means that you are now experiencing tension in prayer, getting overtired. You're torturing yourself unnecessarily. You should understand, this is passion. Some people start to speed up their prayer, praying faster to read more prayers. This is passion. This is incorrect thinking. You need to read prayers slowly, strongly, deeply, with concentration, and as much as you can. If you feel you can't continue, rest. That's the principle. Thank you for the good practical question.
Could you please tell me the confusion regarding what's happening between me and my husband? I'm probably missing something.
No, you're not missing anything. It's something else, a different topic. Look. The confusion between you means that you've come to face a volume of work. You were surprised by how big it was, but couldn't handle it. You see, this is what's called confusion. That means that you need to endure, you need to accept all of this. You should say, no, this is not confusion. I accept everything. I like my life, my fate. And from this moment, the cleansing of the heart will begin. A little time will pass, and there will be less and less and less of this volume of work, and then you'll have a good relationship with your husband.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much.
You've simply come to face the volume of work. That means that you came to this point in your heart and then you were shocked. You didn't expect it. That means that at first everything is easy, good. There's joy and happiness in the heart. Meaning the person has come into contact with fate. They've opened the gates of fate. Everything is good in the heart. Everything is great. And then something comes according to your fate. Something falls out from the heart. Everything seemed to be fine, and suddenly there's confusion. This amount of work in a relationship with your husband, when you think nothing works, it's terrible. It is good that it fell out from your heart, because for some people it doesn't happen this way, but immediately turns into divorce. It's unexpected for a person, you see, they didn't expect it, because they never let anything out from their heart before. Everything was accumulating there. You started pulling everything out, and this means there won't be any divorce. There will be the process of cleansing and happiness. That's all.
That means that, in other words, I should continue what I'm doing. Just pray for an hour and a half instead of 2 hours.
An hour and a half and more calmly. Watch yourself. Don't rush. Don't experience tension. The tension should be in listening and serving, not in trying to do more and faster.
Could you please tell me if I haven't started running and walking yet? That means that I pray, take care, but physically I'm not doing anything yet.
That's why there's exhaustion and fatigue in the body. Low blood pressure, decreased appetite, no energy. This means that the body's batteries are running out, not enough strength to live. It leads to pessimism.
And should I run as much as will be comfortable, right?
Run slowly, no need to run fast, maybe even slower than walking speed. Run slowly, but it needs to be running, not walking, but calmly, joyfully. Go running. There are many parks in Moscow. Find a park and run there.
Yes, there's a park near my house. Thank you very much.
St. Petersburg. That's a good question. You've understood what I want. I need your experience too as a conclusion. I want to know how you achieve happiness. But now we're having a practical session. Here's the technique of overcoming fate. Ask practical questions, similar to the question we just had. It was good.
Good evening, Dr. Torsunov. My respects. My name is Tatiana, and I wanted to tell you, 15 years ago, my older brother died. And after that, my mother started drinking very often. She's a teacher, and despite her position, she drank very frequently. I've been engaged in spiritual practice for about 3 years. And thanks to your lectures, thanks to God, thanks to prayers, I started praying very strongly for my parents, for my dear mother, and she's coming to stay with me for 2 months soon. This was such a victory, and she's coming to me saying, "Daughter, I hope you will lead me to the path of truth." I wanted to ask you, how should I proceed further? I understand that there's still this thin line between me and my mother. That means our relationship was completely destroyed, and now it's only being built and starting to develop, and I want her to come out of this state of degradation, and I want our relationship to become much stronger, to improve. How should I proceed?
The first rule is not to let her too close. No soul-saving conversations are needed. Don't tell her too much about how she should live. Accept her as she is, help her more, take care of her, try less to open your heart with her. The first rule is to keep your distance, otherwise you won't be able to bear the burden. That means when she starts to pour all the negativity on you, you'll lose strength. When a person is in degradation, you always need to maintain distance with them when you want to help them, save them. Care for them, but don't unite hearts with them. Try to keep distance, because you won't be able to deal with everything that's inside them, won't be able to maintain your position of strength. You won't be able to maintain your position of strength in order to take care of them. That's the first rule. Here's the second rule. Help her when she asks, when she says, "What should I do?" Give her tasks, but not difficult ones, not difficult. Let her do something with herself little by little. Let her start with being outside in fresh air, walking more, fasting. That means practice should always start with the body. not with prayer. Imagine her body is weak, she has never worked on herself, she has no skills, and if you teach her prayer at first and all this dirt starts coming out and she has no strength to deal with this, that means she will immediately break down. You need to start little by little. Start with walking outside, breathing fresh air, fasting, giving her blessed food to eat. Have such conversations with her. That means you read the scriptures, just read, and that's all. You see, you can talk with people in degradation, but avoid heart-to-heart conversations. You read the scriptures, she listens. If there are questions about the scriptures, you discuss the scriptures, that's all. No heart-to-heart conversations. Because if you start having heart-to-heart conversations with her, she starts complaining, befouling you. If she relapses, drinks, you forgive her. That means completely distance yourself from her, give her a chance to come to her senses. The most important thing at this moment is not to become befouled yourself. Just act as if she's not there, that's all. Mind your own business, pray, do your own things. When she comes to her senses, repents, you move forward.
Is it okay that she's leaving Dad? They live in the Far East. I'm in St. Petersburg, and she's leaving Dad there.
It's okay. You should understand that a drowning person can't help another drowning person. You need to pull one out of the swamp first, then pull out the second one.
Thank you very much.
You got out, now pull Mom out. After you pull Mom out, you'll pull Dad out. Everything is very practical, you see. It's harder to pull out two people at once. Imagine if they both come, what will you do with them? You'll go crazy. They'll start torturing each other, torturing you along the way. It would be terrible.
Good day. My name is Alexander. I have such a question. I currently have a healthy relationship with a girl. I'd like to tell you a bit about the situation. I recently found out that when her mother was pregnant, she had an abortion. She was 20 then. Now she has 3 children. And when my girlfriend was pregnant, she also wanted to have an abortion. My grandmother was against it.
So what? She had her reasons. My mother also wanted to have an abortion, but my father stopped her. There's nothing unusual about it.
And then, when she was traveling with her future husband, they had an accident. Later, Lydia also had an accident with her future husband, and it ended in tragedy. That's the kind of situation we're dealing with. I recently found out about all this, and so many things are surfacing. A few months ago, she also had a miscarriage. That was a serious blow for me. But before that, I had already been studying your method for about 1.5 years, reading your books, attending your lectures, and it really helped. I've been doing sports, weightlifting, a little dancing, practicing martial arts.
Are you living with her now?
Yes, I'm living with her now.
What's your question? You're essentially just listing the challenges. Okay, so you have a significant amount of work to do. That's your fate. Not her fate, yours, because you're living with her now. So what's your question? What do you want to know from me? What techniques for overcoming your fate are you looking for?
I'm practicing cold water therapy, doing some sports. I've changed jobs a few times and found one that truly satisfies me. I have a medical background. My question is, I feel like I've hit a plateau. What's next? Where do I go from here? How do I keep moving forward?
You've encountered a significant challenge. It's slowed you down. You have a feeling of a burden. You're scared of what fate has handed you. You feel like this relationship is too much for you to handle. And the woman isn't to blame. This is how your own fate is manifesting. You need to start praying. Set up an altar, play recordings of people praying, and pray with them. After 3-4 weeks of prayer, you'll feel your heart begin to lighten. This heaviness will pass, and you'll see how a person is truly meant to live. Your issue right now is that you're in a state of shock, stunned by your own fate. As I've mentioned before, the most important thing is to pull yourself out of this state, and to do that, you need prayer. When someone is shocked by their fate, overwhelmed, they start having foolish thoughts like, maybe I should leave this person. Why do I even need this? That's nonsense. This person isn't to blame. It's your fate at work. They're simply bringing your fate to the surface, that's all. What you need is prayer, but because you don't yet believe in this fully or understand it deeply, you're asking me what to do, and I've already explained this in my lectures.
Thank you. What about her health? She's been diagnosed with serious gynecological issues.
She needs to start listening to my lectures and take action.
Thanks to you, she started listening to them regularly just a few months ago.
She needs static exercises, dynamic exercises, water therapy, spending time in a bath, and green foods. That will resolve the inflammation.
She has a very demanding job. She's the chief accountant at a large firm.
Let her keep working. That's fine. She can do everything else alongside her job.
All right, thank you very much.
My dears, don't treat me like an informational entertainment machine. From now on, I want your questions to focus on spiritual practices, not on how bad things are or what to do about them, but on what you're already doing and how to overcome challenges through that. Sevastopol, all right, I hope that if you're this eager, you have something meaningful to say.
Dr. Torsunov, hello. Thank you so much for everything. Regarding overcoming fate, I understand that it's not always about achieving a specific result, but rather about finding an inner state, like a core strength and a newfound energy. I started in a deep state of apathy and depression, and now I'm smiling, attending lectures, and absorbing new insights. I'm grateful for these methods that truly work. Running along the seashore, it's such a blessing that we have the opportunity to do this. I don't know how it works, but it gives incredible energy. Helping others is also energizing. But for me, the biggest revelation has been prayer, using the techniques you recommend. In your last lecture, you suggested I pray for 25 minutes daily because I tend to get overworked and struggle with my mind, but I feel like that isn't enough time for me. I'm just getting into it when it's over. My question is this. Coming out of apathy and depression, I've reached a state of joy. Though my external situation hasn't changed, my husband hasn't returned. I feel at peace. My attitude toward him is like the lyrics of a song. Rain or snow, if he's here, great. If he's not, that's fine too.
The moment you reached that state, he likely began feeling drawn back to you.
I don't know. It's not about him. What I want to ask is, how do I maintain this state? And second, how do I avoid becoming stagnant in it? I feel good, but I know I need to keep moving forward. Just 6 months ago, I couldn't have had this conversation with you. My question is, how do I keep progressing? It's tempting to relax when everything feels so good.
Feeling good is a temporary phase. At first, fate surfaces and everything feels fine, but then it retreats inward, and that's when the real work begins. Fate is giving you a short break right now. You feel good. Understand that soon this energy will move deeper into your heart, where it will uncover some difficulty that you'll need to process and overcome. Initially, a person moves out of this passive fate, this life of a failure. After working on themselves, fate gives them a taste of joy, saying, "Look, see how good life can be when you live the right way? Enjoy it now." But then fate digs deeper into the heart, where it unearths a multitude of challenges and obstacles that the person isn't even aware of. These obstacles start surfacing, and the person doesn't just feel good, they begin to understand what it means to truly work on themselves and win over these inner battles. This is what a joyful life is, living in the austerity of victory over self and serving others. That's what true happiness is. It brings me joy to serve you, to see you understanding something, trying to change your life, getting involved and praying. That brings me happiness. There's a man in Brest, Belarus, sitting and thinking, I need to start praying. It's hard. He's slowly getting into it. He's not entirely convinced yet, but he's thinking about it, and that's already amazing. You see, this brings happiness. I'm truly happy when I see you changing your life, growing and developing. That's real happiness. Sometimes fate gives us a moment of bliss, a high, a sense of euphoria, feeling amazing. But that's not happiness.
But if the situation doesn't change, isn't that a failure to overcome fate? Isn't that just an illusion?
That's not a victory. It's just a rest, simply a pause. There's no real victory yet. It's just the beginning. You've only just seen the enemy army, shouted a battle cry, and the enemy was shaken. And you feel inside, oh, so I can do this. There's this sense of joy within you that you're capable. But the battle hasn't even started yet, not yet.
Should I keep going?
Yes, you should keep going. Eventually the real work will begin. Something will surface from your heart. When that moment comes, just keep working. Joyfully move forward into the battle. Just as you shouted the rallying cry joyfully here, step into the fight with the same joy. It's easy to shout the cry. The hard part comes when you have to fight, when you have to deal with your fate as it surfaces. Soon, the man might start coming back. You need to accept him as he is. This will be your first test. Don't overthink it. It's not your concern. Maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't, But if he does come back, you must accept him. Not with an attitude of, I'm fine without you, so get lost. No, you must accept him.
I've actually started to accept him as he is, and I no longer feel angry.
You see, you're finally in a balanced state. A person should feel content whether someone is next to them or not. Your self-esteem has finally returned to a healthy level. Now you must live with this sense of self-esteem. You need to overcome fate and not allow it to become either humiliated or overly proud. Sometimes self-esteem flips from low to high and a person starts to feel arrogant. They might say, see, I'm fine now, so get lost. This is incorrect thinking. All right, keep working on it. Let's move on to Izhevsk.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share my experience and to apply your advice in working on my fate. Over 4 years ago, I left my husband with 2 children. I left blaming everything on him, thinking he, his family, and his relatives were entirely at fault. Thanks to listening to your lectures, praying, and attending the temple, I started to notice and acknowledge my mistakes. I realized that in many ways, I was also wrong. I feel like I've been able to forgive him for many things. I now understand that his parents and relatives were doing their best to help us keep the family together. But back then, I was young and inexperienced, and I didn't appreciate it. Now I accept it, forgive, and try to work on myself. However, on my ex-husband's side, there's still a kind of war against me. When you visited Izhevsk, you said that I had hurt him deeply and that he's fighting with me. That's exactly what's happening. We're living in this situation. For instance, when I leave for work, he shows up. When I come back home, he's gone. He might even leave the kids alone just to avoid seeing me. If we run into each other outside, he won't even get out of his car. He turns his face away, making it obvious to the children that he sees me as someone bad.
That's enough. You're describing the extent of your situation, and we've heard it. Now you simply need to start praying. For me, it would take about 3 months of prayer for this situation to soften and become more manageable.
I'm trying to do that.
This is not up for discussion anymore. Understand that if you listen to those who pray, detach yourself from personal concerns, and serve God, this burden will begin to melt away. As a result, everything in your relationships will improve. That's it. No more discussion about this topic. This is how you should act. There's no need for detailed descriptions. Whether you are in alignment with each other or not, you've outlined your workload to me. There's a man from Minsk saying, she does this, she does that. All right? Now pray, and you'll see how all of it will dissolve and melt away. I'm telling you the same thing. If you think I'm just making things up for entertainment, let me tell you, my challenges are often no less significant than yours. I've faced situations far more challenging than yours, and yet you don't see any of it reflected on my face.
I just want to say that I've experienced how prayer works. When you pray and try, you see results. I see my shortcomings. They're mine. They are simply reflected in the people around me.
You've reduced the distance between you and others by 7%. Keep going. 7% is progress. Once you reach 25%, things will begin to warm up. At 45%, you'll start speaking with each other. At 55%, warmth will emerge between you. At 75%, you will love each other again. Keep moving forward. This is your task.
It's a big task.
Yes, it's big. Everyone's task seems big to them. It's normal to feel that way. Nothing is actually too big. 3 months for me, that's all. Kazan, your question.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. My question is about my work. A difficult period has started, and I've also recognized my workload.
Good for you. You didn't see shock, you saw your workload. That means you've been praying, because when bad times come, most people only see shock. People think, how can I live with this? I need to run away. That means they're fighting against their fate. In other words, they can't accept it. Fate strikes them, and they're in shock. If you say, I see the workload, it means you've prayed and distanced yourself from that fate. It means victory has already begun.
I've also listened to your lectures. They helped me get out of a crisis, and then positive developments started happening. But now I don't understand what to do next. I feel like I'm being blessed for my work, but I also have fears inside. I don't know if I should continue developing this activity or shift to something else entirely.
So am I being used as an informational and entertaining machine now? This isn't a question about prayer or your work. It's, Dr. Torsunov, you've prayed. Now answer what I should do.
I don't know what to do. Should I just keep praying and wait for the answer to come?
Pray and the answer will come.
All right.
You're lazy. You don't want to pray and overcome your fate yourself. You want to use me as an informational and entertaining machine. You throw a question at Dr. Torsunov and boom, he answers. But the answer is prayer. I've prayed, and I'm giving you my prayer to answer your question. Now it's your turn to learn how to pray so you can answer for yourself. This is the kind of conversation I'm having with you because our lecture is coming to an end. I want you to ask me questions about overcoming fate, not about what to do with your life. If you're raising your hand right now, you need to be responsible for what you're asking. Because we're here to learn how to overcome fate, not to use Dr. Torsunov as an informational and entertaining machine. Nizhny Novgorod.
Thank you very much for the information and for your patience. I've learned so much today. At first, I wanted to ask one question, but now it's shifted to something else. I'm a sports person, and what you say about not being lazy and constantly overcoming difficulties, that's how my life has been. I'd like to briefly share some of my realizations, if I may. There was a time when I had success in sports. I participated in a competition and already knew I would take first place. As they say, I was a star, and everyone expected me to win. But in the end, it didn't happen. At that time, I wasn't practicing spirituality, and the result came as a shock. But thankfully, my coach was there. 2 days later, he said, "Let's try a different program." For the next competition, just a month later, we created a new program. In fact, we put together a freestyle program in just 1 day. We went to the competition with no attachment to the outcome. To my surprise, I took first place. That was about 20 years ago. But whenever I face a tough time, when everything seems to be falling apart and success feels unattainable, I am so grateful to God for that situation. When everything crumbled, my dreams, my false ego, everything, I somehow found the strength to continue. I'm so thankful to that coach who believed in me. We showed up without being attached to any results, performed, and won. My spiritual practice began with your lectures. Thank you so much. They've been incredibly helpful in my family life. My second husband came into my life because of the practices I learned from your lectures. In many ways, I feel like I've experimented on myself, like a guinea pig. Over the years, every time I face a difficult situation, that experience comes back to me.
You see, it's important to understand what victory really means. Victory isn't what you think it is. Victory isn't about first place.
That's what I thought back then.
Victory is an inner sense. It's a firmness in your effort and courage in facing whatever happens. When a person is steadfast in their work and courageous about the outcome, that's what victory is. And it will always be that way. When someone is firm, brave, and acts decisively out of a sense of duty, they will undoubtedly achieve victory. That's certain. But when someone expects victory or celebrates it prematurely, or when they anticipate defeat and feel like it's inevitable, all of that is considered failure. These are just different forms of failure. For example, there's failure upward when someone feels like they're already a winner. That's called celebrating victory too early. And when someone feels like they're not a winner but a loser, that means their self-esteem has fallen, and that guarantees defeat, and so on. You need to understand one simple thing. Victory lies in your connection with God, and this sense of connection with God has a very clear truth. This truth is that if I feel like I'm simply acting strongly and courageously, and in my heart there is no sense of either victory or defeat, but just the desire to keep going and fulfill my duty, then that is a very good sign.
Yes, I've come to this conclusion. Out of a sense of duty, I went to training. Out of a sense of duty, we started building on what we had, continuing the work. And I also want to say that it's very important to have people around us who can support us. This relates to the topic of loneliness. I could have retreated into myself, stayed home, and done nothing. But then I wouldn't have achieved what I now consider a victory, a step forward in my life. If I may, I'd like to ask a question about my daughter. My oldest daughter is 27 years old. She has, let's say, grown disillusioned with men. Should I try to help her meet someone, or is that something I shouldn't interfere with?
No, you shouldn't be looking for someone for her. You need to pray, until you feel a sense of peace in your heart about this matter. Continue praying, and as your prayers deepen, you'll establish a connection with her. During this connection, you can transfer your calmness to her. This is the second stage of overcoming fate. The third stage is when inspiration arises in her heart, making her feel that she can succeed. And at the third stage, it becomes possible to start looking for a partner for her. But all three stages depend on your prayers.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right, Miami. Miami, this is the third time. Let's go with Ivanovo instead. Well, they're far away.
Hello, Dr. Torsunov. I wanted to ask a question and also share some of my experience. I've been listening to your lectures for about 12 years now. You were my very first teacher. My mother brought home some CDs, and it started with The Alphabet of Success. Those were the very first ones. I've been listening, analyzing many lectures on YouTube, and diving into spiritual teachings, including the teachings of Hare Krishna. By God's grace, I've reached the point where I consistently chant 16 rounds of the mantra daily. Things are going well. I feel the desire to find a spiritual teacher who can guide me further on this path. And I don't quite understand how this practically works.
First, you need to find a holy person to follow. I believe you've already found someone. Now, you need to understand that a spiritual teacher is not found by simply searching, but by perceiving the purity in a person. Personally, I would accept any of the existing spiritual teachers because when you perceive someone's purity, you can surrender to them. So don't look for a teacher who will fully reveal themselves to you like an open book. Instead, learn to see purity in elders. By serving them, loving them, and caring for them, you will cultivate the ability to see this purity, and at some point, God will reveal the teacher He has chosen for you. But until you can see purity in elders, God won't reveal anyone to you. It's just not possible.
Thank you.
All right, my dears, our time is up. I even stayed a little longer to talk with you so you could feel happy. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.